Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. And in tonight's game plan, we'll put the spotlight on the Queens of Volleyball for our PVL Team of the Week feature.
And we'll take a look at the blockbuster trades at the end of that deadline that shook up the NBA world. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. All right, we're just 1 week, 3 play dates into the PVL All-Filipino Conference, but we've already witnessed an exciting mix of new faces and veterans on quest for redemption. Now, to reveal our PVL Team of the Week, we have with us volleyball analyst Neil Flores. Neil, good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, Neil.
Good evening, Boom. Hi, Diego. Thanks for having me.
Oh, as always, we love it. And we want to clarify to those who are watching, when we say PVL Team of the Week, we're talking about Neil's list and not PVL as the league.
So
All
not
right.
the official list,
Not
but
the official list.
yeah, Neil. Before we go to your list for the Team of the Week, a quick reaction to the game yesterday between Petrogas and Chocomucho.
Oh, it was a crazy game. I covered that game with Eric Tepan, and tension was very high in the Phil Oil, Eco Oil arena. It was a good match. I mean, 2 new systems, 2 new head coaches. But in yesterday's game, I feel like yung Petrogas lang talaga yung nag-click together as a team. They followed the system well. They implemented it better. So they got that win.
All right, well, speaking of Petrogas, let's talk about the first person on your list. And boy, did she. It was a vintage performance last night. I know we say that every now and then, and we don't see it every time, but when your first girl is on, she's on. Who is she?
Well, the first one is Aiza Maizo Pontillas on my list. And I was covering her when we were analyzing the gameplay of the Petrogas Angels. I was literally having goosebumps
Exactly.
every time she scored a point. Parang she turned back time talaga eh.
Yep.
And she's been playing in the commercial league since 2010. So many years already for this veteran, and every time she goes on the court, paminsan she's very soft-spoken, hindi mo mararamdaman yung presence niya. But there would be some games that she would just take on that top scorer reign, and napakataas yung naging efficiency nung delivery ni Aiza Maiza Pontillas from the right wing. And she was the reason why they were able to come back in set number 1. And after that comeback win, they also took set number 2 and 3 to deal Chocomucho a straight set loss.
All right, just to follow up on that, 19 points on 18 attacks, 14 excellent digs, and in a highly emotional game, Neil, and I'm sure you will agree, she was the one who really was super composed and poker-faced throughout the game.
Oh, that's right. I mean, kung opensa naman si Aiza Maiza, your second player on the list, depensa naman from the same team, Petrogas. Who is she, Neil?
Second player that I chose was Remy Palma. When you are on the receiving end of that rotation, you would most probably need 4 touches, diba? Aside from the digging, the setting, and the attacking, it's all about getting a good rebound. And aside from the kill blocks na nagawa ni Remy Palma yesterday, she had a lot of rebounds na napabagal ng bola. That's why it was easier for Janelle Cheng to actually run their combination plays. She outplayed Dina Wong in that setting position. A lot of low, fast C sets, not just in the left pin, but also dun sa side ni Aiza Maizo Pontillas. And then from time to time, she would also utilize yung mga short slide ni Des Clemente, a quick power tips ni Remy Palma. So I would say that it was a huge factor na they outblocked Chocomucho yesterday.
Veterans really stepped up in that match yesterday. I was talking to Ayel and our good friends Ayel and Melatuna. I was saying how I'm interested to see this Coach O dynamic with veteran players this time. And they're 1-1 so far here in the conference. Let's move on to the team that is 2-0. And they are blazing through those 2 games. And they are the head of the snake of that offense, Gia De Guzman. 27 excellent sets in the first, 25 in the second, Neil.
Gia will always be the gold standard when you at the setter's position. That's why they're very dominant right now after the first two outings. And yung unang dalawang kalaban nila, these are no pushover teams. the Signal HD Spikers in straight sets, Petrogas Angels also in straight sets. And without Eliza Valdez in the fold, sa ngayon for them, it will be a question of paano i-utilize ni Gia de Guzman yung attackers niya. But seems like they don't have any problem even if they don't have Eliza Valdez there. They were able to make small adjustments, moving some pieces like Tots Carlos to that outside pin, Michelle Gumabao in that right pin, back to her normal self. But again, ang maganda kay Gia, even if they don't have perfect passes at times, you would also notice that with Creamline, napapaganda niya yung bola, and it's always easy for the attackers to just convert on the offense.
That has been her trademark since Ateneo. I want to ask real quick, your quick thoughts. Do you think they're playing faster even this conference after 2 games? That's like the general observation of our friend analysts.
Yeah, I do have to agree. They're playing at a different level. I've heard, and I think I also saw on social media that they had a joint session with the NU Bulldogs, yung women's team nila. And we know that NU also plays very fast type of volleyball. Cams Lamina, a future star in the BVL for tour. So I feel like Gia is also learning from the young ones na meron siyang mga tricks and tips na nakukuha from the different generations in the UAAP right now.
Now, for your next player on the list, Neil, for your libero position, tapos na tayo sa opposite hitter, middle blocker, and setter. Who did you pick for the libero for your team of the week?
This was an easy one for me. It was Doc Macandili. They came back. PLDT was raring to get that 5-set win against the Cargo Movers. And itong F2, this was a team na laging malakasing depensa. I don't feel that they have any problems there because Don Macandili would always have a field day in manning that court. And it showed. She had 30 plus excellent digs in that game against the high-speed hitters. And now, I would say na meron na siyang katandem in the offense. And ito lang talaga yung nagkukulang for F2 in the past few conferences. With the acquisition of Myla Pablo, mas gagaan ngayon yung responsibility ni Don Macandili kasi she will have that confidence na pag naiangat niya yung bola, Kim Fajardo would set it to their highest percentage attacker, Myla Pablo.
Well, let's talk about her. The first 2 sets were incredible for F2. Obviously, they won those 2 sets. They lost the next 2 sets, but won an exciting 5th set. Myla Pablo was great. Tamang-tama, no Kalei Mao, no Lindsay Stalzer. It was a perfect debut.
Yeah, it was siguro the biggest acquisition for any PVL team this conference. Yun lang yung kulang ng F2 Logistics That one player who has that one kill, one stop mindset every single time. And she made it rain. A lot of attacks from Myla Pablo. She was very deadly in the backcourt, but she was also playing smart. So it wasn't all power for her with the Cargo Movers. Siguro konting tweaking pa with the connection with Kim Fajardo. But for that first game, I would say na parang ang tagal niya na with the Cargo Movers. And she feels at home.
Looked like it. Yeah, you're right, Neil.
And Neil, thank you so much for giving us your takes. 1 week pa lang sa PVL.
Yeah.
We've been having so much amazing action. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you so much.
And if you want to catch that action, the Premier Volleyball League is live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Catch the games on One Sports, One Sports Plus, Signal Play, and the Smart Live Stream app. And after the break, we'll do a deep dive into the trade that sent Russell Westbrook to the Northwest with the Utah Jazz. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. The trade deadline is over, but the NBA world is still reeling. There was the swap between Patrick Beverley and Mo Bamba, the release of Bones Highland, and so much more. But one of the biggest blockbuster trades involved the departure of Russell Westbrook from the Los Angeles Lakers. And joining us to break down the trade and what to expect for the teams involved is NBA Philippines All-Star analyst Isaac Go.
Welcome, Isaac. But
Welcome, Isaac.
I want to say first how we phrase these things sometimes.
Right.
It's not, Russell goes to, no, Russell exits the LA
right.
Lakers.
It wasn't his choice. But Isaac, before we go on to analyzing this whole thing, I just want to ask you: are you the type that woke up with a totally different NBA world, or did you stay up with all these trades?
I went to bed, man. You gotta get some sleep. But when I woke up, that's the first thing I checked. I checked Twitter and I just saw all the transactions. I thought certain moves were gonna happen, didn't happen. Buyers became sellers.
Right.
It was one of the wilder trade deadlines we've had in a while.
Which we actually say almost every year. We seem to forget
Right,
certain
right.
years, but it's what we say every year. But okay, your general thoughts on Russell leaving the Lakers. What has he left, and what was he with the Lakers? I guess is what I wanted to ask for you, Isaac.
I think unfairly is Westbrook gets so much hate,
Right.
whether he plays good or not. And if you see the counting stats, still average around 15, 6, and 7 off the bench. And he did come off the bench. There's still that there. You still have to respect for what Westbrook did, what he sacrificed. But also the Lakers gave up in the trade, the best player in the trade, if you look at it piece for piece. But the Lakers, I think, the sum of its parts isn't Westbrook in terms of the totality, but I think for the fit-wise, it may be better.
But how about the players that the Lakers got from this trade? Do you think they won this trade? What do you think is gonna happen now that with all these pieces coming together?
I was gonna say Pau's team won, but this was the first time probably Danny Ainge hasn't completely fleeced someone. So we'll give them that. But for the Lakers, I think they addressed their need. 2 shooters. They got D'Lo and Malik Beasley, who are both top 15 in three-point made this year, average about 35% from 3. And they got Jared Vanderbilt, who isn't big, but he's a long defender who will help become more mobile, and he'll just add to that front court depth for the Lakers.
D'Angelo Russell is an interesting thing. He comes back to the purple and gold. He also did. There's always this impression of him, and please, we want your take on it. That he's too casual a player, whether he was with the Lakers, even with Minnesota, and seems like didn't get along with a few other players there, including the Ant-Man. He wanted the team. Ant-Man wants the team. So that's not going to work with the Lakers. Not in Hollywood, right?
That's not, but remember, this is a guy who has played for the Lakers,
Correct.
purple and gold early, and he's been a journeyman. He's become an all-star in Brooklyn, and what we've seen is on teams where he isn't the primary ball handler, he puts up pretty good numbers in Golden State, in Brooklyn, but when he's asked to become the number 1 ball handler, like in Minnesota, he struggled a little bit with that. So we know he's gonna play point guard, but remember, they still have Dennis Schroeder. LeBron is gonna play a lot of point guard. So there are gonna be guys who will help him play a little bit more off ball, and I think that's where he's at his best.
And I think he's capable also of being an off-ball player, especially with all the creators that the Lakers have. I mean, it's gonna be interesting how this is gonna work out. But Mike Conley also exits the Utah Jazz after 4 seasons. He actually warmed up with the team even when he knew that he was gonna get traded, just to have that last bonding moment with the team. Your thoughts on Mike Conley leaving the Jazz?
I love Mike Conley as a player, always starting with that grit and grind Memphis. And he's just a vet, someone everybody loves, someone you'd want to have on your team. And I think his timeline with Utah was not the same. Utah was still trying to build something. Mike Conley a little bit up there in age, so he's now going to Minnesota, where compared to D'Lo probably has the higher ceiling. But in terms of a floor, in terms of someone gonna come in, contribute to a playoff team, I think Mike Conley fits that. And remember, we've always talked there's a lot of hate on Rudy Gobert struggling. Now he's gonna play with someone who helped him become Defensive Player of the Year. So it may help Rudy Gobert all of a sudden unlock himself. At the same time,
Just first guard, right?
just having that stabilizing presence.
Yeah, because they're all young there.
They're all young.
Yeah, in Minnesota.
And if Pat Bev, assuming goes there as well, you have 2 veterans who are gonna lock this team down,
dogs.
hold these rookies, these young guys accountable, and it's gonna make them scary.
2-in-1 question, and quickly, we need your answer. Is Russell Westbrook actually going to play in Utah? Do you think?
No.
Number two. Number two. How do you think the Lakers are going to go far?
They are, and
First round, second round?
I think the needle doesn't change much this year, but the moves they made this offseason prepare them for the coming offseason after this year because they got assets, young guys.
Right.
You don't know what they can do. They can make moves now.
Right.
But this year, you think the Lakers, they're 13th at the moment.
I think it's gonna be hard because LeBron's gonna take a step back now. Got the scoring record. May look longevity-wise now.
So wala na, okay na.
But
I'm done with the
okay,
season.
okay.
I got the record.
But
okay.
it depends on the other guys as well.
All right, more NBA talk with Isaac Go. Because after the break, our NBA trade deadline breakdown continues with, of course, the blockbuster deal that sent KD to the Phoenix Suns. Stay tuned. You're still watching the game. You're still watching the game, and not to be outdone by the big moves around the trade deadline, the Phoenix Suns pulled off possibly the biggest one of them all. Two-time NBA champion Kevin Durant will officially be joining the Suns. Still with us to break down the biggest trade in the West, NBA Philippines All-Star analysts now. Isaac Go, Diego Dario will chime in. Let's break it down. It's an epic four-team trade.
Crazy.
Right? Suns get TJ Warren and KD. Of course, people forgot about the TJ Warren part. Nets receive Mikal Bridges, the Iron Man, Cam Johnson, Juan Pablo, 5 future first picks, 2 future second-round picks. The Bucks receive Jay Crowder, who has not played a single game this season, so that's interesting how he will go with the Bucks. Pacers receive George Hill, Serge Ibaka, yes, he's still there, George Nora, and 2 future second-round picks. There's so many second-round picks going around. All right, quick thoughts on that overview muna, Isaac, when you found out about, I guess the more direct question is, did you expect that?
Yeah, when Kyrie got shipped out, it was on the writing on the wall that Kevin Durant would want out. He does not want to play with him. He wants to move.
Did you expect Phoenix?
I really didn't know where he was going to go because that was the talk earlier in the year that Phoenix is a player, maybe Toronto, and you didn't really know which of these teams are willing to pay the price. So I was not expecting him to go to Phoenix.
But you expected him to get traded.
Yes.
You didn't expect it that he will finish the season first and then get traded.
I was thinking that.
because that's what some would say, that he would ride it out, with the young guys, with Mikal and Cam Johnson, very good players, and then you really thought he would get out right away.
I think when Kyrie got traded, it was really self-destruct. Let's blow it up. And Brooklyn didn't really get fleeced here. They got some good guys. They got some picks.
I agree.
And there's a price now for Durant is because at the start of the year, when Rudy Gobert got traded for all those picks,
A lot of picks.
that was the price now
Right.
people had to pay for Kevin Durant.
Right.
Well, I totally did not expect this trade at all. Same with Isaac. You expected. I did not expect it. I thought it was fake news when I saw it on social media. But how do you think this fits? This KD with Phoenix and all that.
Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, three top
DeAndre
tier.
Ayton
DeAndre
was there,
Ayton.
yeah.
You got legitimate 4 All-Stars now on the team.
Right.
But of course, the question will be fit, health. Devin Booker's missed a lot of games. Chris Paul's getting up there. Durant is still going to be coming back after the All-Star break. I think on paper they look good. They're going to look like as one of the top contenders. But it's still you have to see them on the floor and play with.
And they got to be healthy too.
They gotta be
They got to be available to see
Yeah,
for
that's-
everyone to see.
That was the projected lineup with Torrey Craig completing the 5 in case everybody is healthy. And, you know, everybody was saying, at least the analysts in the NBA were saying that Phoenix really needed to do something. They really needed to make a big move because the Chris Paul thing, the decline, I think not a lot of people saw that was happening. Of course, D-Book getting injured, that's a different thing. But the decline of Chris Paul, or at least that's what we're seeing so far, was not on a lot of people's mind. Now, the question, strong on paper, but do they have a bench, Isaac?
They got some quality guys. You know,
Okay.
Campaign's gonna play that backup point guard role. They got Josh Locke there. I'm trying to Damian Lee.
That's when you know. That's when you
They
know.
got
the
some
bench
guys
is kinda-
who have shown that they can provide that little bit of
Right.
spark. But yes, in terms of rotation, Phoenix did give up a lot. They gave up maybe about 90 minutes in the road, 60 to 90 minutes in the rotation. Kevin Durant's gonna play 30, 35. Where are they gonna get that next 25 minutes?
So what's crazy to me though also is they got KD without giving up their top 3 players in CP, D-Book, and DeAndre Ayton. But one question, I just want to pick your brains on this. How do you even guard a CP3 Kevin Durant pick and roll, bro? That's tough. That is tough.
I'll say this. Imagine you have Devin Booker in a catch and shoot role.
Yep.
We've seen him create a lot more on the dribble. CP setting him up. Now he's gonna have his feet set in the corner or somewhere on the floor. And imagine that. You have Devin Booker as a catch and shoot player. Like,
All great in mid-range too, the
Crazy,
3 of them.
crazy.
Whether it's mid-range, whether
and
it's
you got 3 guys who
Right.
get the ball, they can get a bucket. So,
Yeah.
man,
And then you got Ayton to clean it up just
Right,
in case.
right.
Okay, postscript on the New Jersey Nets, Isaac. You know, we were always into hyperbole and all that. Biggest disappointment in NBA history. Biggest disappointment in American sports, some people are saying. Some of their talk shows are saying. What is your initial thoughts on that? Obviously, we're not, we don't know the extent of the history of all of the American sports, but just the Nets era and that shortened era of Harden and Irving and KD.
I think it started first, that big 3 trade. They went and made a splash. Got KG, Deron Williams, Paul Pierce. That didn't pan out. But in this
It's the one
case,
that was coached by Jason Kidd, right?
I
With
think-
Joe Johnson and right.
But I
That's
think
right,
the
right.
difference now
Okay.
is they actually got something in return. Like if you look at their roster, they have legitimately 40. That's why I thought they were gonna make more deals, because they got so many players that contenders would want 3-and-D wings, guys who can play defense, and
But you're talking about the trade, right?
yeah, the trade after.
What- Can I ask you quickly on the promise of the big 3 supposed to be, and only winning 1 series, and a lot of them not playing because of whatever injury or whatever other. Are you disappointed, and how disappointed are you ranking it with other?
I think so,
big
but
threes?
as we said, Kevin Durant was 1 shoe size away from this completely not happening, where they could probably win the title. We'd say that they did win one, but it's kind of disappointing, but yet a lot of things went wrong for them. So sometimes, even though you plan everything, you think everything through, it makes sense, it just doesn't happen. So baka hindi talaga para sa kanila.
And I think personally what I saw there is, you have KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. They're all playing together. Exceptional athletes, great scorers. But in terms of leadership, they didn't really have a lot of that. Talking about KD. KD's
Even from a coaching
even from a
standpoint,
coaching
yeah.
standpoint
Yeah.
as
Good
well.
point.
I mean, KD, he was effective when he was the second, third option with the Golden State Warriors. When he had teammates around him, James Harden, when he saw Kyrie that wasn't playing, he just went out of Brooklyn. So it just didn't work. I think I'm happy that they got the picks though, the first round picks.
Well, I gotta ask, how far is the Suns going, in your opinion? Come on. Because
Suns?
here's the other thing. They are stronger, but the West also got stronger.
They're
Some
currently
of the other
sixth.
teams.
Every sixth in the West now.
I think
Sixth in the
what do you
West.
I think they can meet the conference finals.
Conference final.
I think they can make the conference finals.
Against who?
Against, and I gotta go against I gotta pick Jokic.
Denver?
Denver always makes the conference finals.
I would love to see Dallas and Phoenix go at it, though.
Ah,
Kyrie
same,
versus
same.
KD.
Then
Book
Luka
versus
Luka.
Luka. Woo, woo, yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
for other shows.
All right.
For the future.
We can talk about that.
We can talk about it off air.
you.
Right now.
Thanks, Isaac. Appreciate you, man.
Of course, always happy to come.
And that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diego Doria.
And I'm Boom Gonzalez, and this has been The Game.